Dear students, in this video lecture, we'll talk about the static security assessment, contingencies and their classification. Let us discuss about the static security assessment SSA and the contingencies. Usually the system security it refers to the ability of the power system to withstand the disturbances with minimum disruption of service. What happens is when the particular disturbance occurs on the power system, the system security, what it will do, it will try to minimize the harm to the power system. So it will try to disturb the system of service minimum. So the system security, one more concept of the system security is that, so the actual operating conditions changes constantly because the maintenance requirements, the forced outages and the load patterns. Here what happens when we are talking about the security assessment, the conditions that constantly vary, that maybe the forced outages sometime comes into picture, the load patterns vary, sometime we are going to extend the maintenance requirements. So because of that, the actual operating conditions will change. So that will also affect the assessment. The important options which are available to improve upon the insecure condition includes starting an available unit rescheduling of the generation. So usually what happens, the figure shows the Delague security state diagram. In this the secure, you can see here the secure normal state is given, insecure normal state is given. So this is the dotted line shows the transition due to control action, the dark line shows the transition due to the disturbance. So this is the preventive control and this is the corrective control and this is the emergency state and this is the restorative state. So here, as we said, there are three principal operating states. The first one is the secure normal state. In case of that, all the system loads are satisfied at the specified voltage. Here it is shown. Here all the system loads are satisfied at the specified voltage levels. The emergency state, whatever you are seeing here, this is where some operating limits are violated. For example, the overhead line or overloaded lines. So these are the some operating limits are violated in case of the overloaded line. Then in case of the restorative state, some loads are not met usually. Maybe the partial or total blackout that may take place, but the operating portion of the system is in normal state always. Let us assume that a transmission line sustains a fault which causes the outage, but usually what happens, this will result in a redistribution of power flows and changes in all the voltages in the system. If this redistribution results in a normal system condition, then what happens, the pre-disturbance state was both normal and secure, which is related to that particular event. If emergency condition occurs, then the pre-disturbance state was normal, but it's a insecure always. So this is what the state diagram, security state diagram will show. This is what just now I explained about the different states, whatever we observed in case of the principal operating state. This already I explained you. So just now I said the steady state security, which involves the situations where the transients following a disturbance have decayed, but where some limit violations could not be tolerated for the long time. But the loss of a transmission link, for example, if you take after some transients have died out, that may result in an overloaded line. So if the transients are died out, then it may result in a overloaded line, or the overvoltage condition also it may happen. So that may lose the transmission link also. But this system may tolerate, such limit violations for a short period only. But during such a period the corrective action should be taken. So what happens in a particular transients, if the transients are died out, that may create some overloaded condition or some over voltage condition. So at that moment the transmission link may lose the condition, so that may directly affect the assessment of the system. So sometime what happens, the system may tolerate such violations for a short period, but during such a period the corrective action must be taken, the assessment must be done to avoid the any hazardous limits. But what happens here is usually the contingency analysis is carried out using 3 different data sources. One is the pre-contingency state where the model of external system is considered and a specified list of contingencies. The result of this contingency analysis is re-evaluated further, which gives the result of what is the level of system security that it will give. If the system is deemed insecure, then what happens, the preventive measures are to be evaluated once again, but necessarily it is not at all carried out in a regular system. So that's why the static security assessment is very much important as far as the system conditions are considered. This is the block diagram which illustrates the condition what is which is associated with the online security analysis. You can see here, this is the external system where the power system under control is given here. So through the power system, through external system is two-way, it is giving the signal to the external system to the power system control action. Then from the power system control action, the signal is going to the SCADA, it is going to the SCADA. From the SCADA, the signal will go to the state estimation. Okay, so here network and other data part will come. So then the state estimation will give the signal to the specific security state. Then from that, if emergency things are required, then through the emergency line it will go to the security state and it will alarm the power system control. Then from the security state, it will give the signal to the specified security. If it is normal, it will go to the do the contingency analysis. While doing the contingency analysis, it will take some it will take some specific security state and contingency analysis records it will consider. Then that contingency analysis report will be given to the security analysis. This security analysis will give the condition, it will check whether if the system is having secured or not. After the security analysis, it will check whether the power system is secured or not. If the power system is secured, it will stop the analysis. Otherwise, once again it will go to the if the system becomes non-secure, it will go for the preventive measures. It will make the alert signals. It will go for the implementing some measures. So that in terms of disturbance signal, it will go to the power system under the control. So this is the very important block diagram, how the security action takes place. It will explain the system security and its associate functions are described in a particular block diagram. So this is very important block diagram where how the security analysis is carried out in case of the power system, that is shown very clearly. Let us study what to mean by the contingencies and their classification. So the steady state contingency analysis predicts usually the power flows and the bus voltage conditions, the following events such as maybe line outages, transformer outages, generator outages. These all things will be analyzed in a steady state contingency. Mainly there are many reasons for transmission line and transformer outages. That is a different issue. But the simplest reason is the planned maintenance. So another involves maybe the switching operations to control the power flows in the network or to overcome the voltage problems. But the another class of outages is called as the forced outages. In case of forced outages, for example, a line that has experienced a permanent fault is automatically de-energized by a circuit breakers, or an overloaded line or transformer is de-energized to protect it from the big damage. So that is the two things. One is the normal outages, another one is the forced outages, as we discussed. Now let us study the steady state contingency analysis. So in case of steady state contingency analysis, it predicts the power flow as well as the bus conditions following the transmission line outages, the transformer outages, the generator outages. These all conditions are analyzed, and we are going to develop the model for the contingency evaluation also. But in case of transmission line or the transformer outage contingencies, it is usually assumed that the input or the demand load flow variables will not change due to the outages. But in practice, many of the smart grid contingencies will require some number of fast load flow techniques for performing the contingency analysis. But in all of these techniques, the starting point is that the pre-outage solution will be the starting outage. But in practice, many smart grid contingencies will require some number of fast load flow techniques for performing the contingency analysis. In all of these techniques, the starting point is that only. So this is how, if I give the example, in case of generator outage, it's more complicated for a number of reasons. There are a number of reasons, but immediately following the outages, the remainder of the generating system will be unable to respond to the resulting generation, or it may create load unbalance by increasing its generation level. So automatically the system frequency will drop, with the net effect being overall fairly uniform reduction in the system load, because of loads are the frequency dependent or tending to decrease or increase with the corresponding decrease or increase in the frequency. So that may affect the steady state contingency analysis. Let us study what we mean by the performance indices, whatever we are discussing in case of the power system. A security type performance index ranks the severity of various contingencies. The following index is an illustration for that. The J is it is 1 by 2 actually. It is n by 2, 1 by 2. It's a summation. This part is a summation Vk minus Vk reference square into Wk, where Vk is the magnitude of the voltage at bus level, Vk reference is the nominal voltage at bus K, and Wk is the weighting number associated with the relative importance, or it may be defined as the allowable range of the voltage variation at a particular bus K. So for pre-contingency condition, that J whatever we are defining in the equation, that will take the value of J0 usually. But for the ith contingency, J will take the value of J1. The contingencies are then ranked according to the J1 values, because the quadratic nature of the J1, more severe contingency will result in the J1 value. So in the online control and operational context, the system being controlled is usually interconnected to the other system, that is defined as the external system equivalents. Now we'll discuss what is the steps in the utilization of the network equivalents are. First, we are going to perform the network reduction using an appropriate technique. The second one is, given the base case solution, we are going to compute the boundary bus injections. The third one is, we are reclassifying some boundary buses as generation buses if necessary. Then postulate a contingency list. Then fifth one is, for every contingency in the list, we are going to solve the load flow problem using the fast contingency evaluation technique that is initiated by the base case solution. So now we will discuss the last part of the video, that is sensitivity based approaches. Usually the external equivalent network usually depends on the real and reactive external bus injections and bus magnitudes. But following with the line outage or the generator contingency, the external voltages and possibly some injections will be different. But what happens, the post outage equivalent is required in this condition, but usually the entire purpose of network reduction it will defeat. But a more crucial problem is that external system injections and the voltages are actually unknown in the online environment. So usually there are two possible solution paths in this. The very first path is, during the offline studies, if it is important to obtain the equivalent network that are insensitive to the external conditions and the internal outages. But if the objective is achieved already, the next step uses the online measurement. Basically this is very important, which is used to calibrate the parametric values of the equivalent lines of the injection. So this completes this part of the video lecture. In the next video lecture, we'll talk about the contingency studies for the smart grid, which is we'll discuss in the next video lecture. Thank you.